Well, ya apliqué algunos cuestionarios, pero me falta de entregar otros.
How many have you applied? How many are missing? How many do you have?
I think in total are 13.
Okay.
I have right now here. Six.
So we have about 6 or 7 left?
Yes.
Okay. And you're just waiting to get those back, or do you still need to apply those?
No, I need to wait for the questionnaires because they are already answered.
Okay. Have you had a chance to look at the
some of them.
questionnaires?
Yes. I read one that the teacher said that she was not willing to study, but
okay.
The others, they say all of them said yes. So.
Have you found any so far that you see that they're different or unique or something interesting that you would want to choose or to do your research? Or have you looked yet as far as looking through the answers, how they answer some of the questions to see does one stand out or a couple stand out?
No.
All right. So yeah, well, let's. When do you think you can get the rest of the?
Today.
Okay. So hopefully within, with these 13 questionnaires that you can choose the participants, right? And try to choose, the participants that are going to be unique in some way, something that's a little bit different than the rest. Think about the research questions that you have, which ones you think would be most appropriate for your research questions that stand out in some way. So try to basically think of a reason why you chose these particular teachers for your study. Okay. How are the other instruments coming? Have you finished those?
Well, I think I only need to make the format of each instrument because I'm going to use a relationship and the interview guide. I don't know if after I have to wait to complete the interview guide after the observation.
Okay, so you at this point, yeah, you probably will schedule an interview after the observation, and that's fine. Try to come up with an interview guide that you think will work. Okay, that just to give you an idea. So you want to make sure that you ask questions about things that you observed in the class. So try to come up with a set of questions that you are likely to ask. But understand that after you observe, you're probably going to go back and look at your interview guide again and make any changes that you think are necessary. So at this point, that's fine. If you have to go back and make changes, it's okay if you have to go back and make changes to your method section, the procedure section. What I'm looking for now for this week is just something that, for example, in the method section, something like a plan, basically, that I see that you are scheduling. This is what, how you plan to apply your instruments. And then later on, if there are changes, you can always go back and make those changes. Same way with any instruments that you have. Go ahead and draft them up, write them up, and then if you have any changes later on, then you just make those changes. Okay, so that's basically what we want to try to finish for this week. Is to upload all of your instruments to Google Drive at the end under the appendix. So you have Appendix A, that'll be your first instrument, Appendix B, the next instrument, and so on.
Okay.
So you're going to present each appendix in order based on how you introduce them in your method section.
Okay, so Appendix 1 is going to be for the questionnaire, Appendix
you're probably gonna, the order in which that you apply the instrument will probably be the order in which you present it in your document.
Do I need to make the reference for example, the instruments, for example, questionnaires, and in parentheses, Appendix A?
Yeah, you'll want to say C Appendix A, C Appendix B. in parentheses. And you can capitalize the word C and capitalize the word appendix and capitalize the letter A, right? So those will be in capital letters. So yeah, I see appendix A, and that'll be at the end of each sentence where you reference each instrument. It's kind of like a citation, kind of.
But it's necessary to make the reference in each. Could be, I don't know, paragraph or.
No, just the first time.
Okay.
In this case, you're going to have in the method section participants, instrument, and procedure. In the instrument section is where you introduce the instruments, and that's where you're going to say C appendix A, C appendix B, C appendix C. In the procedure, you're going to say, first I applied the teacher questionnaire. You don't have to say C appendix A again, because you've already said it once. I can go back to the instruments and say, okay, this is the instrument that she's referring to. So I would, just to keep it kind of logical in the instruments, introduce the instruments in order that you present them in your procedure, or the order in which you're going to apply each instrument, just to kind of keep it kind of organized. And so, yeah, just once, though, you just have to reference once. Okay, so the method section, approximately 500 words. You're going to have a paragraph for each section. Each section will have a level 2 heading. So you just leave the headings that appear currently in the template. All you have to do is insert the information.
Can I send you the interview guide before?
Yeah, as soon as possible. Either via Canvas, you can annex it as a Word document in Canvas as an email. Or if you're here and you want to come by, that's fine. We can look at it quickly and I can make comments. Either way.
Okay.
But try to do it. If you're going to send me an email, I prefer today if possible, because tomorrow gets kind of, and I'm going to be trying to check emails tomorrow, but as we're getting closer to the date, it'd be easier to do that today. So, but yeah, try to send me something today, and I'll send you something back today with feedback. And if you have any other questions about any other instruments, send me all of the instruments, and I'll look at all of them, the ones that you have doubts about.
Okay. Well, I have written something about the participants. I don't know if you can take a look. To see if I maybe missing some information.
All right. Let's take a look here. Sure. Okay, one thing I probably should have mentioned in the video. We don't want to include any real names or names of institutions. So in this case, if you're referring to this university, you can just say a public university in Aguascalientes, or private university, or whatever. So I would avoid using any real names, so you can use pseudonyms, and just don't use the real name of the institution.
So I think I also need to change the name of the
program. Yeah, you can just say the curriculum, or the syllabus, or you can use those words for general, or policy or program.
Or I can write a description of each program without naming them.
Yeah. just thinking because. If it were another school, for sure, I would avoid using another name. I would just, yeah, I would just say program, um, and you can say like one is an extension program and another is for a foreign language program. Say, now if they ask, then you could probably tell them. I mean, it's not like it, But what the general advice that I would have is, I'm thinking like too of another school that we don't want to put them in a difficult situation, but yeah, I would just use general terms, and then if it comes up during the mock presentation or the actual oral defense, and they ask you, "Are you referring to here?" Yeah, I mean, that's okay to mention that. Okay. Spell out numbers 0 through 9. So instead of the number 1, you write out O and E. And 2 would be TWO.
Okay.
Right. And then once you get to 10, then it's numbers 1, 0. Teachers that have 1.5 years, so 1.5 years to 2 years, 2.5 years.
Okay.
Right. So these programs, participants are chosen. All right. This is all right. So you tend to talk a little bit about the programs, and maybe you can talk more about the teacher. So remember in your instruments you have this data.
Mm-hmm.
Some of this data you can use in your method section. For example, average age, years of experience, level, group level, this type of information that you have.
Okay. Yes, but I think that I need to develop more information from this.
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit. I'm saying, like, for example, here, that these programs are English language. I'm not sure how necessary this information is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would rather you talk more about the participants and the groups and the context that is pertaining to the individuals, the participants, right? It's okay to talk about the university, but you can say, I chose 2 teachers from a local public university in Aguascalientes. The participants are, if you want to say male, female, X, so many years old, so many years of experience. They're teaching university level 1. See it? Participants because of and like here, the participants. Okay, were chosen because of the. Okay, this is okay. So you can choose why you chose these participants. They were chosen because of the use of authentic development, or that they use certain authentic videos. And you talk about experience here. So maybe just talk a little bit more about like this type of information. But yeah, I mean that's the idea that you have. Okay. I would just probably take out this one sentence and add maybe one sentence more about any of the independent variables that appear here. Yeah. Now, I think that as far as person goes, like third person, first person, I think we can try to write in the third person for the participants and the instruments, and in the procedure, if you want to use the first person. First, I applied this instrument, then I applied this. In the instrument section, I would try to stay in the third person. You can say the instruments that we used for this study include, and then you talk about this, and then you talk very briefly about each instrument. But this is the idea. You're talking about the instruments again. 6 would be SIX instead of the number. This questionnaire was answered by 13 teachers. Yeah. All right, so notice here you have the instruments or use the questionnaire or division. All right, so the questionnaire has 6 questions. Let's see, 6 questions relate to these. This questionnaire was answered by 13. Okay. This is the idea. Yeah. The method section is not difficult. It's short. The hard part is to write very concisely because it's not a lot of words. So you need to try to say as much as possible in those 500 words. So think about if I wanted to apply your research. Tell me what I need to know to apply your research. No more, no less, but very uh, precise and orderly. So uh, just think about that when you're developing your method section, because um, you don't want to have any extra information right, that you don't need. So, but you've got the idea. This is all right. Any other questions, doubts, concerns? No. So the idea is next Monday we start start collecting the data. So when you get the results from your questionnaires, and by Friday you will have needed to choose your participants so that you know on Monday and they know when exactly you're going to be observing, doing observations and everything. So when you've decided, make sure you contact each teacher and plan to the best that you can the next 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. And the procedure section, this is where you're going to be describing this process. Okay. If something changes, that's fine. Go back to the method section and make your changes. We want to try to write this in the past tense. So I applied this. Even though you haven't applied it, we're going to be writing it in the past tense. So if you want to write in the future tense now and go back and change it, or if you just want to write it in the past tense. But at the end of the day, for May 23rd, it needs to be in the past tense as if you already did that. Just plan accordingly. If anything changes in your instruments, that's fine. Just make sure you go back and update the information in your documents. So remember, all the documents are going to be in here. Copy and paste what you've worked on, and make sure that they appear here, but make sure they're always up to date. Right? And I would try to get in the habit of, each week going back and looking. Okay, what did I apply? Is it the same thing that I have here? And make sure that it's just everything is kept up to date, because it gets very easy to kind of forget. And then you go back, and what you don't want to happen is to have an instrument that the señorales are looking at and say, oh, no, I updated it. I forgot to update it, and you don't have the updated version. So that's what you want to try to avoid. So just try every week while it's still fresh. Say, okay, this is what I did. This is the procedure. Is that what I said here 2 weeks ago? Okay, right? Or do I need to make some changes? All right. Also, next week I'm not going to be here Thursday, Friday. So be thinking about a different time that we can meet, hopefully next week. Okay, so we can have our tutoring session another day. Anytime that I don't have a class, and I'm going to be scheduling everyone that has the tutoring session on Thursday and Friday. So um, if you can send me an email, and I'll try to confirm, if that's okay. So if you can give me like 2 or 3 days, if possible, or if you could tell me, 2 or 3 different days, just in case one day I can't do it, because I'll be scheduling. There's like 6, 7, or 8 of you that I'm going to be scheduling Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I'm going to have a lot of spaces filled up there. So
Yes, I think I can send you information.
okay. So send me the information and I'll confirm, and then it'll just be for next week, and then the following week we'll go back to our tutoring session.
Yes.
All right, you're welcome. Hang in there.
See you.
See you.